So my mom and my sister had made statements that I was paranoid and delusional and needed to be put on a 72-hour hold. This is, aside from the fact that I caught my mom doing all this stuff and called the police on her and then she turned it around on me, this is how this is impossible. The last time I spoke to my sister was January 15th. The last time I spoke to her was because I was saying something. Rob's niece was like acting crazy. I had mentioned an argument that me and Rob had about his niece and how he didn't help me and he was horrible like always. And she's like, that didn't happen. You're lying. I'm like, what? It happened in my house. Like, what are you talking about? And like, she has like literally seen me like with bruises. I've called her after every time that Rob's hurt me. And you're like defending him? Nope. So January 15th, I tell her, that's it. We're not talking. You want to like defend him? You want to tell me I'm lying about what he did to me? That's it. So how is it that February, 7th, 8th, 7th, you are able to make a statement that Kalisha's been delusional and paranoid the last 2 weeks? We haven't had any communication. How would you know what Kalisha's been? And Kalisha hasn't been paranoid or delusional. That doesn't make sense. Other than that, my mom had my other sister was in HR. She's always like, nobody ever uses all their benefits. Like, you have short-term disability leave. You have like leave of absence. You should take time away from work because you are healing. Rob is acting crazy. You cannot balance everything. You are trying to be Superwoman and you cannot do it. Take time off work. And I was like, that's a good idea. So at the end of January, I disclosed the abuse to my manager. I took time off work. It ended up being short-term disability because I was abused so badly that I had PTSD. And so like my therapist had to like do all these statements and things like that to say like she can't work. She has like legit PTSD and she's healing right now. But the thing is, my mom and my sister were the ones who told me to do it. And then my mom turned around a couple weeks later and said, she's so crazy, she's not even going to work. Man, what? So that's what I got put on a 72-hour hold for. And I even confronted my sister, like after I got out, while I was in hiding, like, why would you lie? She's like, Kalisha, I would never lie. We don't even talk. Girl, you just told on yourself. If we don't talk, how did you make a statement about what I was doing? Why aren't you smart enough to think about what you're saying? And why are you not smart enough to not put this in writing? Because you can't say that I was paranoid and delusional if we weren't talking. You can't say how crazy it was. How did you know that I was running around in shorts and a tank top? So we don't talk. That means you heard it from your mom, number one. Number two, it was 1 a.m. I was going to sleep, so stop. Okay. So if you are on a 72-hour hold, after 72 hours, you have to go in front of a judge to get released. They could commit you to the mental hospital and make you stay. So after my 72 hours, I went to see the judge. She released me, but it was already too late when I got released. They couldn't get an Uber to get me back home. So one of the employees was like, okay, I'll just drive you. They had like a car that they could use. So he drove me home. And when I got there, everything that I had left in my parents' house. My car keys, my house keys, everything. My wallet, my license, everything. So when I got to my house, I literally can't get in. So I had to call a locksmith at whatever time of night it is, have them. I'm like, I don't just want you to get me in. I want you to change my locks because my husband. So He changed the locks. The guy that drove me, like I told him how scared I was. He waited with me and everything, so I wasn't there alone. But when I got in the house, like after he left, after the locks got changed, my cameras went down again. So I was terrified. I was too scared to sleep that night. And my thing was, okay, the locks are changed so you can't get in, but who's to say he's not gonna like shoot me through a window? So I laid in the bathtub because I needed something like an interior room. I laid in the bathtub at night and like tried to sleep because I was so afraid that I was not going to make it through the night. So the very next day comes, I'm like, okay, he's taking my cameras down again. I know this is him. He has to know that I'm back. I'm not safe. The first thing I need to do is figure out these cameras. So I'm calling Google, asking if they can get logs so I can prove what he's doing. They're like, no. Call the guy who installed my cameras. He's like, listen, I can come reprogram them for you because I told him like my husband hacked them. And I'm like, I'm still too afraid to be here alone. So I was so scared, and again, I don't know anybody in Richmond. I had a pretty good relationship with some of the people in the mental hospital, and one of them, he lived like 6 hours away, and he was staying in a hotel like down the street until he could get back home. So I literally like texted him like, please just come sit in my house with me. Like that's how scared I was that I was willing to risk it. Well, this guy that I met in a mental hospital 3 days ago versus like sitting waiting for my husband to take my life. And so this guy was like, okay, cool. And he, of course, doesn't know where I live. I can't drive to go get him because I don't have my car keys or anything. He's from out of town. He doesn't have his car. So I have to Uber him to my house. So once he gets there, I live in a townhouse. So he's like, which one even is your place? So I go open the front door to like wave him in. Open the front door. So there's the driveway, there's the street, like the road, and then just beyond that is apartments. So he's just on the other side of the road, like from my driveway, like right in front of those apartments. And he's smoking a cigarette with some like young looking guy that I've never seen before, but I'm just like, okay, they're both like randomly smoking a cigarette. Who cares? So I just like wave him over, like, hey, here I am. And he starts walking to me, and this young guy who I don't know unzips his jacket, takes out a huge GUN, and just points it at me. My cameras are down, by the way. So I'm like, now I know why he needed my cameras down. Now I know what he didn't want on camera. It is 9 a.m. I'm like, I'm gonna lose my life right here, and nobody's gonna know because it's not on camera. So I just do what I can, and that's scream. I just start screaming because I'm praying it's broad daylight. It's 9 a.m. If somebody hears me, somebody might see what happens. And by the grace of God alone, the guy turns around and runs. And the guy that had come to my house, like he's walking still towards me. And I like let him in just like in the entryway, and I'm like, listen, you're giving me weird vibes. I have a feeling that this guy said something to you and probably threatened you because you didn't seem that surprised about what was happening. So I was like screaming to the guy because I'm like, I don't want this guy to get hurt because of me. So I'm telling him like, come on, this guy has a GUN behind you. Come, come, come. I'm screaming. I'm telling him to come on. He's not even running. He's not like acting like scared. So I'm like, I don't know what you got going on. You can't stay in my house either. I feel like you have your phone weird. Like, I don't know what's going on. And it would make sense that this guy like threatened you. Go. So I kick him out, call 911, police come. But remember, I had just gotten out from a 72-hour hold in the same state of Virginia. Because even though my parents live an hour away, they're all in Virginia. So I don't know if they can see it or what. But tell the police what happened. I'm like, there was a witness. And I start trying to call the guy that came over. He's not answering his phone. They're like, sure. I'm like, listen, it should be on camera. My husband hacked my cameras. sure. And they're like, you probably need to go back to the mental hospital. Sounds like you're making things up. And I'm like, please, please, please listen to me. Please. Ask my neighbors for their cameras. There's apartments right there. They have cameras. Look on them. No. And I'm like, search the area. And they're like, well, we don't see them. What? Like, if you guys leave, I'm not going to live. If you don't do anything for me, I'm not going to live. I shouldn't be here right now. And they don't believe me. So I'm like, okay, since you're not going to do anything, I can't even drive my car. My car keys, I don't have anything. But will you please just wait here and let me catch an Uber? I don't know where I'm going, but I can't be here. It's not safe. So I'm like, okay, fine. Call an Uber. Uber gets me. I was going to go stay at a random hotel. And as I'm like, I just picked a random hotel, and it drives past one of my dealerships. And I'm like, oh, let me just go to my dealership because I can get a car from them and like rent a car and go somewhere. I don't know where I'm going. I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm not safe. And so I go in the dealership and I'm like trying to get a car from them. They're like, even though we know you, we love you, like you have to have a license. I'm like, I don't have one because it's at my parents' house. I have a picture of it. And they're like, that's not good enough. So I'm like breaking down. I'm like, there was a man with a GUN at my house. My husband is trying to take my life. Like, I'm not safe. I don't know where to go. I don't know what to do. And one of the girls that works there is like, oh, like, you could always get on the train. I'm like, well, that makes sense. I don't want to stay in this area. So I just pick a random place and book a train, book a hotel, and get an Uber to the train station and leave the state. And I end up going into hiding for almost 3 months at this point.